Hello, my name is Simonize, and welcome to another Simonize guide video. Today, I've got an exciting one for you. I've got my Burning Crusade Rogue Pre-Raid Gearing Guide. But before we get into that, I want to shout out my Discord server. The link is on the screen now and in the description below. This is an excellent place to stay up to date with all your Rogue Burning Crusade related information, and a great place to ask questions about how to play Rogue in both Burning Crusade and Classic World of Warcraft. Now, let's get into the guide. First up, we're going to handle the weapons, and your main hand weapon is going to be Dragon Maw. This is a crafted blacksmithing mace. You need to be a master hammersmith, and you need to be a blacksmith to use it, and to craft it. It's bind on pickup, so this has to be one of your two professions. I strongly suggest getting this, as it's a lot better than the other options available to you, and it will last you all the way to Serpentine Cavern, where you get Talon of Azshara. For your offhand, you're going to want Latro's Shifting Sword. This comes from Aenis in the Black Morass, both normal and heroic mode. This is a really well itemized weapon, and it's even better than the Gladiator's Quick Blade that you could get from Arena. This 1.4 speed, 15 agility, expertise, and attack power, those are all stats you're looking for as a rogue. And both your weapons are going to use the Mongoose enchant. Your helmet is going to be Wastewalker Helm, which comes from Epoch Hunter in Old Hillsbrad Foothills Heroic. You're going to use the Glyph of Ferocity and the Relentless Earthstorm Diamond as your metagem and your enchant. And we're going to be using 4 pieces of the Wastewalker armor set. Next up is your necklace, which is Choker of Vile Intent. This is a Badge of Justice reward and only costs 25 Badge of Justice. This is a really exceptional necklace and beats out all the other options for quite a while. The first replacement is going to be Choker of Endless Nightmare in Black Temple. So getting this one is going to be very good and it'll last you quite a while. Your shoulder is going to be Wastewalker Shoulder Pads, which comes from Avatar of the Martyred in Auchenai Crypts Heroic. This is going to be the second piece of the Wastewalker Shoulder Pads set, and it'll last you up into Serpentine Caverns as a very good shoulder item. The back is going to be Vengeance Wrap. This is crafted by tailors and it's bind on equip. So you do not need to be a tailor. You can just buy it from someone else. This is simply the best stats available in the back slot, but it will get replaced in Karazhan. Chest is Primal Strike Vest. This is crafted specifically by elemental leatherworkers, and it's bind on pickup. So you have to be an elemental leatherworker if you want to make and use this item. It's got great stats though, 38 agility, 12 hit rating, and a massive 108 attack power on a chest slot item is very good. The wrist is going to be Nightfall Wrist Guards, which comes from Epoch Hunter in Old Hillsbrad Foothills. So you have 2 items off of that boss that you want. Again, just the best stats you can get in the slot, which is the explanation for most of these. 24 agility, 46 attack power, and the nice 24 attack power enchant. Hands are going to be Wastewalker Gloves. These come from Warchief Kargath Bladefist in the Shattered Halls. And they'll be the 3rd piece of the Wastewalker armor set that we're going to use. You can sock it with 8 agility and 4 hit 4 agility gems, and this becomes a very, very good item. Waist is going to be Girdle of the Death Dealer. This comes from Aenis in the Black Morass Heroic. Really exceptional stats, exactly what you're looking for. Agility, hit, attack power, very high values. Your legs are going to be Wastewalker Leggings that come from Nexus Prince Shafar in Manitomb's Heroic. And this will be the 4th piece of the Wastewalker set that you want to use. Socket them straight up with 3 8 agility gems, and we have the Nether Cobra leg armor enchant that's made by leatherworkers. The feet are Fell Leather Boots, and these are crafted again by leatherworkers, but these ones are bind on equip, so you do not have to be a leatherworker to use these. I have them enchanted with Cat's Swiftness, which is speed and agility. I think the speed enchant for rogues is very important, so I strongly prefer that enchant. The first ring is going to be Shapeshifter's Signet from Lower City Exalted Reputation. This is 25 agility and 20 expertise rating. Expertise is point for point your most valuable stat up until you're capped on expertise. So this is really just a pretty exceptional ring that'll last you a good deal. Ring number 2 is Shafar's Band of Brutality, which comes from Yor in Manitoum's Heroic. I believe this is a quite rare drop, so you may not be able to snag this one before you just get into Karazhan and Magtheridon's Lair. But oh boy, look at the stats on that. Very good ring. Trinket number 1 is going to be Icon of Unyielding Courage. This comes from Kelidon the Breaker in Blood Furnace Heroic. This is a really strong trinket with a 30 passive hit rating and an active to ignore 600 of your enemy's armor for 20 seconds. This is a 2-minute cooldown. Armor Ignore is a very powerful effect in World of Warcraft, and in Burning Crusade, you can't get very much of it early on. You start getting a lot of Armor Ignore in Black Temple and Sunwell. So the Armor Ignore you can get now is very good to grab. Icon of Unyielding Courage right here. Trinket number 2, Abacus of Violent Odds, comes from Pathalon the Calculator in the Mechanar, both normal and heroic mode. It's got a passive attack power bonus and an active to increase your haste for 10 seconds on a 2-minute cooldown. This one is pretty close to another option, Hourglass of the Unraveler, but I believe Abacus of Violent Odds is your best bet. Then we get to the range slot, which is Veteran's Musket or Marksman's Bow, depending on your faction. It's a Alliance for Honor Hold and Horde for Thrallmar. Again, this is exactly what we're looking for on a rogue item. Agility, hit, attack power. Perfect. That's what we want, and this will last you quite a while, so I strongly suggest picking this one up. So we've got the full list here on screen. This is a great thing you can screenshot and keep as a list, a reference. What do you want to get? Where do you need to get it from? So we'll move on to honorable mentions, some items that are pretty close to BIS, and maybe you pick those up instead. For helmet, we've got the Deathblow X11 goggles. These are crafted by engineers, and they're bind-on pickups. You have to be an engineer to make and to use them. These aren't listed in the BIS list because I do not believe they'll be available on release. I think they'll get added with a later patch. However, if they are available on release, you'll want to use these as your helmet, and then you'll switch off the chest piece from Primal Strike to Wastewalker to maintain that 4-piece bonus. Another option for your helmet is Mask of the Deceiver. It costs 50 Badge of Justice. It's pretty good, not as good as Wastewalker Helm, but you might get unlucky with your drops and you might not be able to pick up Wastewalker Helm. So this is a good backup option. For hands, we've got Fell Leather Gloves. These are crafted by leatherworkers and they're bind-on equipped, so you don't have to be a leatherworker to use these. Put a 4 hit rating gem, 4 agility, and an 8 agility gem with a 15 agility enchant, and you've got a really exceptional pair of gloves right there that are pretty easy to get. Legs, we got Cleft Hoof Hide Leggings. These come from a quest called Showdown in Blade's Edge Mountains. They've just, good stats. Again, expertise, point for point, is your best stat. Hit rating, fat amount of agility and strength, and then we've got the Nether Cobra leg armor on there. Not the best, but significantly easier to get. For ring options, we have 2. We have Kalan's Signet, which is Aldor only from a quest Deathblow to the Legion in Netherstorm. And we have Slayer's Mark of the Redemption, which is from a quest Dissension Amongst the Ranks in Shadowmoon Valley. Both of these rings actually have identical stats, but they're different, so you can get both of them. These rings are only slightly worse than the best in slot rings, and they're substantially easier to get. So these are ones to look out for, and probably pick those up if you get unlucky with your drops. Trinket 2, I mentioned before, Hourglass of the Unraveler. That comes from Temporis in the Black Morass. You'd probably swap this out for your Abacus of Violent Odds. It's an okay trinket, but essentially early on, you don't crit that often, so you don't actually trigger this very often. So it's exciting, but it's not that exciting. Shoulders, we got an option for Expedition Scouts Epaulets from the quest Fell Embers in the Shattered Halls. Agility, hit rating, attack power. That's what you're looking for in a rogue item. Now, for weapon options, I said Dragon Maw is the best, and it is the best. But I'm going to go over some second choice, third choice, couple different options. First up is Gladiator's Slicer. You get this from Arena Points, and it's pretty close to Dragon Maw. So if you don't want to go for blacksmithing, you can go for the Gladiator's Slicer instead. It's not clear if Arena Season 1 will be available on release, and even if it is, it will take you a couple of weeks to grind up enough Arena points to be able to get this weapon. So there'll be some time delay. Blink Strike is a world drop bind on equip item. If you want to get Blink Strike, you can't realistically farm for it. What you can do is farm a boatload of gold and hope to be able to buy one that gets posted up on the auction house. It's another good option for your main hand weapon. Next up is Drake Fist Hammer, which is the hammer that you turn into Dragon Maw. This is the level 1, Dragon Maw is the level 2 blacksmithing mace. So again, this is a item that's crafted by blacksmiths, bind on pickup, and requires master hammersmithing to use, so you do have to be a blacksmith to use this. However, the material requirements for Drake Fist Hammer are significantly lower than the material requirements for Dragon Maw, so it's much easier to get. Next up, we've got the Blade Fist, which drops from Warchief Kargath Blade Fist in the Shattered Halls Heroic. It's a very similar item to Drake Fist Hammer and Dragon Maw, but it's got a little lower damage and a little less haste rating, so it's not quite as good. Lastly, we've got Vindicator's Brand, which comes from Reputation Aldor Exalted. So it's pretty deterministic to get. You know, if you want to go for Vindicator's Brand, you'll definitely get it. You just grind that reputation up to Exalted. However, it's the worst of these 6 options. So that's what I've got for weapons. And that actually wraps up this video guide. So remember to check out the Discord server. That's where I can answer questions for you about rogue content, and you can stay up to date about Burning Crusade information, and you can access the spreadsheet that I used to generate this best in slot list and these damage values for these different weapons and items. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.